My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
Swung on a fly ball. Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball is back on the NCW Live channel. Join us Monday, July 17th as the Apple Sox host the Bend Elks. Coverage is brought to you by Apple Valley Honda, Confluence Health, JDSA Law, Mary Mays, Many Blinds and more, Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. Your television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCW Live channel.
And we're back. It is Wednesday, 28th day of June, 2023. And a good morning to you. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Local news, local sports, local information hosted by somebody who's a bit local himself. It is 63 degrees outside of our studios, and there's a lot to get to today. We had some very interesting weather, didn't we, yesterday afternoon from about 6 to about 8 in the evening. Things got pretty cattywampus, and before that, the Meadow Street fire broke out. They don't know exactly how big it got, and they're saying anywhere from 50 to 150 acres. It's all but done now. There's still some level 1 evacuations, but it's mostly good news. We'll show you some rather spectacular footage from our PTZ cameras and give you the latest information on that. But we did have some very interesting weather yesterday. Now, as far as thunderstorms today, it looks like a much smaller chance. Yesterday at this time, we had some clouds here in the Wenatchee Valley. Very few cloud cover right now going on. So I think we're out of the woods on that, but we're going to have July-type weather as we bid adieu to June and welcome July here over the weekend. Complete forecast details are on the way, plus news, and there's a lot, plus sports, there's a lot. Mariners just blew it. They just blew it. There's no other way to put it. Last night's loss to the Nationals stung. And we got a little problem because every time we televise a Wenatchee Apple Sox game at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, they lose. And they've been playing such great baseball. I'm not sure they're going to let us back. In any event, we'll have highlights of the lefties and the Apple Sox from last night, a game we're proud to bring to you. And speaking of the Apple Sox, our weekly visit with Stormin Joel Norman, the broadcasting voice of the Apple Sox, will air in the back half of the program. We got our cameras outside of the one behind me is going to show you some different angles of the burn scar from yesterday afternoon's fire on the south end of town. Let's begin, of course, with our cross camera. This is the lower cross camera, the alternate camera, if you will. It's on Wenatchee Heights, just not quite at the same level or the same location as our other camera that we use every morning. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley and the Columbia River, which is still pretty high, and there's still mosquitoes at Walla Walla Point Park. We did another interview there a couple of days ago, and they were kind of buzzing around us. Kind of late for the skeeters, but they seem to be enjoying my blood anyway. Here's one view of the burn scar. That is that the Heights camera? I can't remember. That is right up to Rooster Combe. You can see there's nothing there. There's no smoke. There's no fire. They rather rapid response. And again, we'll have the latest on that when we get to news. So that's one view of the burn scar up near Rooster Combe. Here's another view of the burn scar. That's from our Jump Off Ridge camera. That's a long way away, but that's a spectacular camera there. We use that quite often when we have a chance to do that from Jump Off Ridge. And finally, this view of the burn scar, as you can see, right up to the very bottom of Rooster Combe Rock. Again, we don't know the exact size now that it's daylight and the fire is all but out. We'll have a better idea later on today, but hopefully, and they don't know what caused it either, because the thunderstorms that brought that locally heavy rain and gusty winds to many locations came later in the day after that fire started. By the way, sunrise this morning 5:06, sunset tonight 9:02. So that sunrise and sunset has been the same for the last 4 days. Starting tomorrow, sunrise will be 1 minute later and sunset will be 1 minute earlier. Yes, the days are slipping away from us. Oh, yeah, it was an interesting afternoon around the bullpen from the National Weather Service. Let's get right to it. Lots of sunshine again. Chance of a thunderstorm today, not much. I think we're going to be, the weather, the atmosphere is going to start to stabilize around the Wenatchee Valley and all of eastern Washington for that matter. Cascades, still a chance of a thunderstorm right up at Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass. They could see a thunderclap or two and a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind. That's a possibility. And up in the Mid-Ohio Valley, but probably not down here. And look how warm we're going to be, 91. And that's just the beginning. High pressure is going to start moving in as the day progresses. And by Thursday, it is here to stay for quite some time. This is typical late June, early July weather. No surprise here. 95, 94, 92, 93, 94, 98 across the board. Now today is June 28th. June 29th of 2 years ago is when we hit the hottest temperature ever recorded in the Wenatchee Valley since measurements go back to 1931. That's when we got to 114 degrees. The 2-year anniversary of that blast furnace comes your way tomorrow. All right, that's your forecast. It is 5 minutes after the hour. Don't go anywhere, because in 2 minutes we'll have your latest headlines, including the latest on the Mid-Ohio Street fire. It's pretty much good news. That's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I chose a career at Confluence South because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Confluence South. Come grow with us.
This is it. The RV sales event of the year is happening now at the Town Toyota Center during the Summer Getaway Sales Event. Choose from the best brands, Grand Design, Flagstaff, Thor, SMC trailers, and more. Over 600 RVs to choose from. Payments just $239 per month and $2,000 over JD Power for your trade-in. Plus, get a Yeti cooler and Traeger grill with your purchase. Don't let these summer deals get away. Sale extended. 5 more days, ends June 25th. The hottest deals at the Summer Getaway Event. Now at the Town Toyota Center, just off Walla Walla Avenue. Hurry in today.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
A sunny and mild morning, 64 degrees, lower 90s today. Your air conditioner will not be getting a break for the foreseeable future. In the 90s, mid to upper 90s, starting tomorrow and lasting right through the Independence Day holiday, the middle of next week. It's 8 minutes after the hour, and here we go. Coordinated aerial and ground attacks on Tuesday help limit the spread and the growth of the Mid-Ohio Street fire. Check out some of the footage that we were able to get from our PTZ cameras. So the evacuation warnings above Squilchuck Road have all been dropped from level 2 to level 1. The fire began about 1:30 yesterday afternoon near the 2100 block of Mid-Ohio Street. That's southwest of Wenatchee. Estimates of the fire's size, anywhere between 50 to 150 acres. Level 2 notices went to all hillside residences on Mid-Ohio Street from the 1900 block to Squilchuck Road, as well as Pitcher Canyon Road, Silver Lane, Saddle Rock Loop, Trigger Lane, Olin Drive, and Circle Street. At 5:20 yesterday afternoon, the Chelan County Emergency Management Agency dropped those notices to level 1. It remains at level 1 the last we heard. At about 2:15 yesterday afternoon, the Washington State Fire Marshal authorized a statewide mobilization to aid in the containment of that fire. That allowed fire resources from outside the area. You saw the planes, the water bombardment planes and helicopters. They moved in to assist. No structures reported lost as we know of, and no injuries that we know of as well, and no immediate word of the cause of that fire. You might remember in August of 2021, there was a fire in the same area. That was called the Rooster Comb Fire. That fire forced evacuations of 300 homes and burned about 90 acres. Take a look at what happened up at the Lake Wenatchee area. Pretty dramatic photo there. Heavy and sudden rain in the Lake Wenatchee area late Tuesday afternoon resulted in that. A flash flood event that closed White River Road about 4 miles from where it intersects with the Lake Wenatchee Highway on the north side of the lake. Mud and debris up to 4 feet deep is covering about 50 feet of the road. Crews from Chelan County Public Works are on scene as we speak to clear out the roadway. We will let you know on our Facebook page and on our website when the White River Road will reopen again. That's about 4 miles from the top of Lake Wenatchee. That man missing from Rock Island is believed to be in the Columbia River. That's the latest from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Searchers have located personal items associated with Jesse Cardenas, who's been missing for over a week. Authorities say he left his home on Hammond Lane in Rock Island at about 8 o'clock in the morning on June 20th. He was riding a gray Giant brand bicycle. On Saturday, a search party was formed to search for Cardenas, and Rock Island residents were asked to review any camera footage they may have from 10 o'clock in the evening on June 19th to 10 o'clock in the evening on June 20th. The Sheriff's Office is asking for anybody in the area, and if you're a boater going out on the Columbia River, to keep an eye out and report anything that they feel may be associated with Cardenas. A Kashmir man faces possible charges of vehicular assault for a rollover crash that broke a passenger's neck and a shoulder blade. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say that on Sunday, 23-year-old Shane McCormick rolled his Kia in the 4000 block of Mission Creek Road that injured another 23-year-old man who was riding with him. A breathalyzer test allegedly showed McCormick had a blood alcohol level of about 0.2. That's more than 2.5 times the legal limit for intoxication. A judge ordered McCormick released from the Chelan County Jail on Monday. He was released on his own recognizance. Formal charges have yet to be filed. Chelan County PUD staff presented draft terms of a potential purchase and sale agreement for a portion of their 5th Street campus. The commissioners are considering it as we speak. The Wenatchee Valley YMCA wants to redevelop part of the PUD's current headquarters into a new facility, and they also want to demolish an existing warehouse, office, and shop. They want to do that in the spring of next year. Now, under the proposal, the YMCA would purchase a parcel of about 85,000 square feet, and the PUD would relocate water, stormwater, and electrical infrastructure to enable the entire site for redevelopment and construct an internal roadway and sidewalk through the proposed new campus. The 85,000 square foot parcel is estimated at $1.49 million once it's vacant, and the PUD will offer about $1 million credit to the YMCA for demolition and site preparation costs. So that makes the proposed sale price about $400,000. The PUD is also in negotiations with Music Theater of Wenatchee, who has an interest in the Fish and Wildlife Building, which is adjacent to their home, their Riverside Playhouse. A Woodinville couple has prevailed against a Chelan County decision that denied their permit to build an addition at their second home in the Leavenworth area. Scott and Kathleen Brewski appealed the county ruling that turned down a proposed 2-story building with 3 independent living spaces to be built adjacent to their existing home. Well, the hearing examiner said the addition would qualify as 3 accessory dwelling units under the county code, and that it would exceed the 1,200 square foot maximum size for an ADU. Well, the Brewskis took their case to the State Court of Appeals, and they ruled yesterday that the county misinterpreted state codes. In its denial, the application must now be given a new hearing. And good news for you folks who regularly travel Highway 28 out in the Columbia Basin towards Quincy. The White Trail Road roundabout open for traffic. Work started back in spring on the intersection where motorists use White Trail Road as a cutoff so they don't have to go through Quincy between Highway 28 and Highway 281. Now drivers won't have to wait at a stop sign before rejoining the highway traffic. A concrete error in the project led to a short delay in opening the roundabout. It was originally planned for early June, but it's open now. The work cost an estimated $2.8 million. That's the news. It's been a busy news week, and it's only Wednesday. What's going to make news today? Well, we're going to find out and present it to you in something we call the news. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television. And as we mentioned before, if that doesn't fit into your schedule, and we know you're busy out there, lots of things going on, you can watch our news via the World Wide Web, on our Facebook page, on our homepage, on our YouTube page, and get a hold of us. If there's a news tip, we'd love to hear from you. If there's something developing, we need to know, and that's where you come in. So send us an email, give us a call, or go to our Facebook page or our homepage and drop us a note. When we come back, Mariners just kicked one away. Last night's loss stung. Highlights, if you will, plus another tough night for the Apple Sox, but good news for the Kraken. And we also find out who and where the Wild are going to play in their first season in the WHL. Sports is 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel. Hi, everybody. Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. We're switching from the cold of winter to the heat of summer. That can put a lot of stress in your HVAC unit.
Yeah, it really can, Dan. I would recommend that you get a maintenance. It can catch any potential problems that you might have during the peak of summer. And it's just a good idea to do on all season changes.
Great idea. Good advice. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Motion e-bikes is rolling out its new line of Avented e-bikes. Come in today and save $300 on the top-selling Avented Adventure. Motion is Central Washington's home for affordable e-bikes, located in the Mills Brothers building in downtown Wenatchee.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
It's barbecue chicken pizza season. That means break out the patio furniture, dust off those jorts, pick up an Abby's Pizza, and head to your favorite outdoor spot. I mean, hey, the great outdoors isn't going to enjoy itself, right? Blue skies and pizza go together like, well, barbecue chicken and pizza. That's why it's time to enjoy an Abby's original barbecue chicken pizza at a very special price. Abby's, a legendary pizza tradition.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. LocalTel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
18 minutes after the hour, missed opportunities, a bunch of them last night. And the Seattle Mariners drop in, 7-4 extra innings. This one hurt. Mariners led 4-3 in the 9th inning. That's when Paul Sewald gave up a game-tying home run. And then in the 10th inning, the Mariners had the bases loaded, nobody out, and couldn't score. And with the wind clearly out of the sails for the Mariners, Washington played 3 runs in the 11th to go on for the victory.
2 out, runners first and second for the Mariners, bottom of the 9th.
Short center, Vargas is there to make that grab.
And we will go to extra innings here in Seattle.
It's got service in that Mariners dugout. They'll settle for any kind of run. 1 out, bags packed, time, bottom of the 10th inning.
Check swinging the ball away, and strike 3, says the umpire at first. Hernandez could not hold.
Next up, Cal Raleigh.
If they don't take advantage of this situation, they're going to be kicking themselves.
Check swing, ground ball back to Weems. He's got it. He'll underhand to first, and he has survived. Weems is fired up.
2 out, runners second and third, and Lane Thomas the batter.
Lane Thomas! Right field corner. It'll drive in 2. The Nats' best hitter, saved
Here's Luis Garcia standing in now.
And this one has a chance to sneak through. Coming around is Thomas. And the Nationals lead 7-4. And Garcia is called out at second.
And he scores. Brendan Miller pointing it home. He scored. He scored.
2 out, a runner at third. Bottom of the 11th inning. The Nationals leading 7-4.
And the Nats are going to win it as the last two Seattle batters do not take the bats off of their shoulders.
Mariners were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. After the game, manager Scott Service said, "We're going to look back on this one as a game we absolutely should have won."
You know, throughout the course of the season, you play so many games, and every year, you know, you look back and there's games that you absolutely should have won, and they're there to win, and for whatever reason, you don't win them, and they hurt. You know, we certainly had chances. You can go through all the different things that happened throughout the game, and it ultimately come down to, you know, we had guys out there. We failed to execute and get them in. Having the opportunity there in the 10th inning, after some guys really did a nice job pitching throughout the night. I thought, you know, Brian Wu wasn't quite as sharp. It's going to happen once in a while, but to keep us in the game there at 5 innings, I thought the bullpen threw the ball really well. We should have won the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we've had that game happen to us a couple times here at home in extra innings. And it's something that, you know, we've prided ourselves on being really good in those spots, and we haven't been this year. We got a little anxious. There's no question. You got the bases loaded, and you know, there were some pitches to hit, but overall, I think guys, you know, got a little anxious. You get anxious, and you want to make it happen so bad. You foul pitches off that you should put in play, or you swing at some pitches you shouldn't swing at, and ultimately, in those moments, you know, you got to take a deep breath, relax, let the game come to you, and we have failed to do that.
Mariners have a matinee today, an afternoon game. It could be a beautiful day at the ballpark. Logan Gilbert on the mound. You can watch the action on Root Sports Northwest. First pitch, 1:10 this afternoon. All right, to the American League West scoreboard from our friends at Les Schwab. Nolan Arenado's RBI double broke up a 2-2 tie. St. Louis plates another run in the 6th. They beat Houston 4-2. Thank you, St. Louis. Texas got back on the winning track. Ezequiel Duran and Adolis Garcia hit bookend home runs in a 5-run 8th inning as the Rangers beat Detroit 8-3. Shohei Ohtani hit 2 home runs at the plate and struck out 10 on the mound as he led the Angels over the White Sox 4-2. Ohtani leads all of baseball. He has 28 home runs and is now 7-3 on the season pitching. Seth Brown and Josh Donaldson each hit solo home runs. The A's beat my Yankees 2-1, and so in the standings, as you see there, Los Angeles leapfrogs Houston. They're now in 2nd place in the division, 5 games behind Texas. The Mariners remain in 4th place, 9.5 games back of the Rangers. Matty Beniers, Rookie of the Year in the NHL. The 2021 first-round draft pick of the Kraken collects the Calder Memorial Trophy at the NHL Awards ceremony in Nashville. Beniers scored 24 goals and 33 assists in 80 regular season games, and that led the rookies in total points and goals, making him the youngest NHL player to record at least 50 points last season.
Yeah, I just want to, you know, start off by saying, Stuart, Owen, you guys had awesome years. It was so fun playing against you and playing with you, Owen. So, you know, I want to start up by, you know, thanking the people that have gotten me to this point. You know, obviously my awesome family that has been here every step of the way, you know, since I was a little kid and up until this year. So obviously the Seattle Kraken organization, support staff, coaches, you know, you guys gave me that opportunity, and you guys, you know, supported me all throughout this year. So thank you for that. You know, the boys, my teammates, I love you guys, and you guys were so great. You taught me so much this year, and you know, you were a big part and, you know, a huge reason to why I'm up here today. So thank you to them. And then finally, you know, Seattle, you guys were great all year, and you guys made playing at Climate Pledge Arena was so fun. So thank you to them, and you know, I love you, love all you fans. Thank you.
And he's just a rookie. Of course, he was a big part of the Kraken making the playoffs last year. Speaking of hockey, the Wenatchee Wild are out with their 2023-2024 season schedule. They'll make their debut in the Western Hockey League on home ice at the Town Toyota Center. That'll be Friday, September 22nd. against the Portland Winterhawks. They'll follow that up with a game against the defending WHL champion, the Thunderbirds, out of Seattle on Saturday, September 23rd. Their first road trip will be the following weekend. They'll be at Everett, at Kelowna, and at Vancouver. The Wild return home August 20th against Vancouver. They'll also see Brandon and Kamloops in town that weekend. For more on the Wild's schedule and how to get tickets for this is going to be a cool season in Western Hockey League hockey. Looking forward to this. Go to their website, WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Port Angeles pitchers fanned 13 Apple Sox batters last night, lefties snapping the Apple Sox 5-game winning streak. They beat Wenatchee 3-1 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The game began with a sudden windstorm that blew out to right field, and that helped Port Angeles score its 3 runs in the game on just 2 home runs. The Apple Sox squandered a great chance in the 7th inning with the 2 leadoff batters getting on board, but they were not able to capitalize. Eric Granstrom and Brandon Schmitten with the call right here on the NCW Live channel.
Okay, the umpires see that, and they'll clear the bases here. This pitch, speaking of clearing the bases, is going to clear the wall, but will it be fair? That is the question, and it is a fair ball, and it is a home run, and I have a feeling that could be a theme here tonight, Brandon, with that wind blowing out to right field.
Yeah, he hit that one extremely well and got that ball up in the air and let the wind take it for him.
See some high-level action.
Yeah.
Pitch swung on a chop. This could be trouble. Third baseman comes in, fields the ball, throws, and it's just in time. No, he's off the bag, and a run's going to score.
Again,
the Apple Sox tie it at 1-1.
That's, again, great hustle by that base runner right here. Not accepting the one base, but forcing it.
Frankie Carney was wheeling and dealing from second base. No matter what happened, he was going to cross home plate, and as it turns out, I think they'll give him an infield single for Boyd. Pitch by Gore is on the way, swung on, and look out. That is a ball well hit to right field, and that is, without a question, a 2-run jack here by Choi.
Yeah, there was no doubt about that one.
Yeah, right fielder Ty Kennedy barely even feigned a look at that one. So Choi with the home run. By the way, that is his first in league play this year. The second home run of the night by the lefties, and now they lead it 3-1. So he will give up the hit, and the Apple Sox hoping he does so right here. As scoring to bunt, now the runner caught between third and home, and is he out?
He called him out.
He called him out, says the base umpire. And it was a show of a bunt, so
he's asking for help by the
not even a safety squeeze. That runner from third was breaking. So squeeze play not pulled off successfully by Wenatchee. 5 of the hits have come from this part of the order. The pitch swung on a fly ball to right center, and that is going to be tracked down by Mayer in right field, and that will do it here for the ball game. Apple Sox get a runner aboard. They bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th, but no, it would be Port Angeles to snap the 5-game winning streak for Wenatchee with a 3-1 win here at the ballpark.
Frankie Carney was 3 for 4, scored Wenatchee's only run. Reeve Boyd had a couple of hits to drive in Wenatchee's only run. Game 2 of the 3-game series tonight, 6:35, Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Joel Norman will have the call on Sunny FM. We'll visit with Joel in the back half of the program. All right, to the scoreboard from our friends at Les Schwab. Bellingham won its 6th straight. That's the team we're chasing, you know. They beat Edmonton 10-3. Anthony Kodama led the way for the Bells. He went 3 for 4 at the plate with 2 runs and a couple of RBIs. Gavin Napier's sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 10th gave Kelowna a 5-4 walk-off win over Victoria. The Falcons tied it in the 9th to send it to extra innings on Kyle Corso's solo home run. Devin Hernandez and 2 other Yakima Valley pitchers held Nanaimo to a 5-hit shutout. The Pippins beat the Night Owls 11-0. Jance Phelan led Yakima Valley at the plate. He went 3 for 4 with a couple of runs and 4 RBIs. Jack Metchko's RBI doubled in the 5th, snapped a 2-all tie, and Portland went on to beat Kamloops 4-2. Ethan Hott's walk-off RBI base hit in the bottom of the 9th capped a 2-run rally for Corvallis, the Knights beating Springfield 3-2. Carter Gaston and 2 relievers combined in a 3-hitter as Cowlitz defended its home field against Walla Walla 7-1, and Ridgefield's Jackson Nicholas scored the game-winning run in the bottom of the 11th on a balk. The Raptors topped Bend 2-1. The standings, Bellingham's lead in the West Coast North Division is now 2 games after the Bells won and the Apple Sox lost last night. Victoria slips to 3 games back. The chase for the first half title reaches its climax next week. And those are just some of the games that people are playing On this Wednesday, June 28th, happy Paul Bunyan Day today. The legend of Paul Bunyan goes back to the 1800s. Canadian lumberjackers, or loggers, if you will, after the day's work would sit around and engage in some adult beverages and trade tall tales about Paul Bunyan, the legendary character, and his big blue ox Babe. Nobody really knows the genesis of the character Paul Bunyan, but all during the 18th century, the stories would go from logging camp to logging camp at the northern part of this country and in Canada. Nobody knows how Paul Bunyan got his name. Nobody knows how Babe the Blue Ox got his name, but it was a freelance writer by the name of William P. Longhead in 1916. Took all of these Paul Bunyan tales and stories and fables, and he put them all into a book, and it sold well. Now, if you drive anywhere in the upper Midwest, especially in Minnesota, Michigan, and in Canada, you see giant, oversized Paul Bunyan statues everywhere. Happy Paul Bunyan Day today. I got a Paul Bunyan. It's on my foot. That was so bad. Bottom of the hour. Today in history, well, we're going to choose up sides. The cause, so to speak, of World War I, the Great War, began on this day, June 28, 1914. The war didn't begin until November, but this was the catalyst of it, when Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife Sophie are assassinated. And everybody had treaties and agreements, and it was time to choose up sides. Austria said, okay, well, Serbia is warring against us, so Hungary, you remember we got a treaty, so you're on board with us. Germany, Serbia, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. On the other side, Russia, France, Great Britain, and eventually the United States of America. Most wars, big, small, or otherwise, don't begin with one single event. It's little bitty events that kind of gel and build up, and then there's a war. This was a singular event, the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, which started essentially World War I, for lack of a better term. And exactly June 28, 1919, exactly 5 years after that happened, the Treaty of Versailles is signed in France, formally ending World War I. Now, the fighting had stopped in November of 1918, as you know about that, but they had to go to Versailles, they had to do a treaty. Woodrow Wilson came with his 14 points, and the people of France and Great Britain and even Germany were excited because Wilson's idea was everybody should decide how to govern themselves, but France and Great Britain, they weren't interested in that. They wanted revenge, and they got it, which is why when you think about it, when you think of World War I, 9 million men died in World War I for nothing, essentially. The famous saying about World War I, nobody won. Germany lost, but the Allies didn't win either. That was 104 years ago today. June is Pride Month, and there's a reason for that, because this is the 54th anniversary of the Stonewall riots in New York City. That marked the start of the gay rights movement. Believe it or not, the Stonewall Inn in Manhattan was a mob-owned establishment. The Genovese crime family owned it. In 1966, they bought it for $3,500. They knew there was clientele out there that would gather if they made it essentially a gay nightclub, and that's exactly what they did, and they made money hand over fist. Of course, the police officers were on the take. They called it gayola. They would take money from the crime family to not bust it because they didn't have a liquor license. And they finally, the city said, you got to close this place down. And the police officers came in. There was some disturbances. But it galvanized the gay rights movement, the Stonewall riots on this date in 1969. The only Supreme Court justice who wanted to hear the case of Clay v. United States was William J. Brennan, Jr., when it finally came up all the way to the United States Supreme Court. He got 3 other members of the conference to vote to hear the case. They heard the case, and they upheld Muhammad Ali's conviction, and they were about ready to announce that Muhammad Ali would finally go to jail for draft evasion when it was revealed that the FBI had been taping Muhammad Ali's phone calls. Well, that's evidence. So they kicked it back down to the lower courts, and they hoped they wouldn't have to see this one again. Well, the lower courts upheld his conviction. Ali appealed again. It ended up back in the Supreme Court, and this time they'd voted the same thing. They voted 4-4. Thurgood Marshall had to recuse himself, so it was 8 justices hearing the case, 4 to uphold his conviction and 4 to release him. Potter Stewart said, we can't do that. It's like it never happened. That we're just jerking this guy around. So he said, why can't we just free Muhammad Ali, say his religious beliefs are sincere, it wouldn't become precedent, Ali would be able to go free, and on this date in 1971, the Supreme Court rules unanimously that Muhammad Ali's religious convictions were in fact sincere, and they vacated his conviction of evading the draft. He came that close to going to prison, and he didn't even know it. And 66 years ago today, interesting note in baseball history, the fans of the Cincinnati Reds stuffed the ballot box. Now, the fans voted back then for the All-Star teams for the American and National Leagues. The Cincinnati Enquirer, in their Sunday papers for about a month, printed a pre-checked off ballot. It was an All-Star ballot, but you didn't check the boxes. They already checked them for you for all Cincinnati Red players. They stuffed the ballot box. Ford Frick, the commissioner of baseball, said, you can't do that. And over the protest of various Red, they voted 8 of the 9 starting All-Stars from the National League in 1957 were all going to be Cincinnati Reds. Ford Frick, the commissioner of baseball, stepped in and said, no, that's not right. He took 3 guys off the roster from the Reds, and he named Stan Musial, Willie Mays, and Henry Aaron to replace them on the All-Star team. And then they took the vote away from the fans because of that. The fans got the vote back in 1969. Let's do some birthdays at 36 minutes after the hour. Probably the most famous monarch in British history, certainly Queen Elizabeth II, because she reigned for 70 years, but Henry VIII, he only lived to be 55, but he got married 6 times. That in and of itself is remarkable. The early part of his kingdom, his sovereignty, was good. People thought he was charismatic. He was a great leader. Things were good in England, and then he sorely kind of went, These things happen. Henry VIII, probably the most important monarch in English history. That doesn't really mean a lot to me. And he probably composed the classic song Greensleeves. He probably wrote it. Historians think he may have. Henry VIII, born in the state in 1491, didn't live long. He lived that kind of lifestyle. The first man ever to get an EGOT, Richard Rogers. Of course, first he wrote with Lorenz Hart. He wrote the music. Lorenz Hart wrote the lyrics, and then, of course, he moved on to work with Oscar Hammerstein II. He wrote the music. Hammerstein wrote the lyrics. Richard Rogers, the great composer, the first man ever to get an EGOT, an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Richard Rogers, born in the state in 1902, a great American songwriter. Guess who's 97 today? Mel Brooks. The producers, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, Silent Movie, High Anxiety, one of my all-time favorites, and many, many more. Mel Brooks, 97 years old today. John Elway, the Hall of Fame quarterback. There are still those who think that John Elway may have been the greatest quarterback ever. He has a claim to fame of being the greatest college quarterback ever. John Elway, Hall of Famer, 63 years old today. And the guy's got $230 billion in the bank. He is the richest man in the world. He is Elon Musk, and he's 52 years old today. When we come back, Mike Mignotti has got an opinion. But stay tuned anyway, because we have a great conversation with Joel Norman, because we love talking baseball, and we're talking Apple Sox baseball with Joel. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
You are ready to earn your BSN degree, and we know you need a special place to take the next step in your career. You are an engaged learner who needs modern labs and equipment, hands-on support, and small class sizes. You're a busy adventurer who needs trees, mountains, rivers, and trails. As a learner, as a future RN, as an adventurer, find it in the BSN program at Wenatchee Valley College.
Coastal is celebrating 60 years, and we have you to thank for it. Stop by today for everything your country needs for the perfect summer. Whether you're camping and kayaking or spending time in your own backyard, Coastal has it all. From clothing and gear to pet food, footwear, coolers, grills, and more. The great outdoors is calling, and Coastal is celebrating. Stop by, scan the QR code, or enter online to win big prizes during our 60th anniversary. Visit Coastal today, or find us online at coastalcountry.com.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
So, how's Evan?
Well, he's all grown up now, but I worry about him. So many dangers in the world. COVID, the environment, the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, I hear opioid misuse is on the rise.
I don't even know how to start a conversation with him.
This might help. GetTheFactsRx.com. There's a whole section on how to talk about opioids with your family.
Offer support, not judgment. Cool.
Talk to your family about the dangers of opioids. Visit GetTheFactsRx.com.
It's Click It RV's lowest price guarantee sale going on now at your neighborhood Click It RV.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
With 0 down and no payments till September, now is the time to own your dream RV.
Get to Click It RV now. Are you going to be mad, bro?
Get never before deep discounts on trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. Plus the best selection, highest trade-in values ever, and a lifetime warranty. Nobody beats the discounts at Click It RV.
I'm Richard Sherman, and we guarantee it.
On Frontage Road.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, at home, we rarely watch network TV, but once in a while, like we watch the national news, or in the morning when we're out of town staying at a motel or something, we might watch HGTV or find a station that's playing Law and Order, particularly SVU. Yeah. But being Netflix and Amazon Prime junkies, network TV drives us crazy. 6 minutes of a show and the same amount of time watching commercials? I mean, it's ridiculous. No wonder streaming services are taking over TV entertainment. I mean, how many stupid drug commercials or ads for toilet paper can someone stomach when you're trying to enjoy reruns of Leave It to Beaver or a new episode of This Is Us? Gosh. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the Pro Mag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob Boats and Motors. We're dealing. Bob
caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
All summer long through the baseball season, we drop by and talk about Apple Sox baseball with our good buddy Storman Joel Norman. Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Lefties tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. This Apple Sox team playing about as good as any team in the league right now, Joel. People got to be pretty pleased.
Absolutely. Entering this week's games of action, the Apple Sox have won 5 in a row in league play, 8 if you want to include the non-league games, and we always count those too. But you know, that was it was such a good week of baseball plus, but frankly, nothing's really been accomplished. We went into this week realizing that we're right at the top of the division, but still behind the Bellingham Bells because they've been somehow even better. And you know, Wenatchee opened the season 14-4 in the first 18 games, but it depends on the year. Some years that'll be enough, some years it's not quite enough. And right now we've got to work some and we've got to do some scoreboard watching to see if Bellingham will ever lose another game.
If we were in the South Division, we'd be leading the division.
Yes.
It happens in the world of baseball. I asked you this a couple of weeks ago. I'm of the opinion that the North Division this year is superior to the South, just from what I've been able to see.
No doubt about it. And, you know, Victoria played Monday night, Tuesday night, but before that they had only lost, I think it was 7 games on the season. 6 of those were to the Apple Sox and Bellingham. They're a good team. Victoria's a really good team, so that shows that those are the only losses that they've had this season. But, boy, those 3 teams, Bellingham, Victoria, and Wenatchee, it's going to be so exciting, not just at the end of the first half, but the entire season to see where they all end up. Right now, unless something changes, Bellingham would win the first half. We would certainly hope to win the second half. But, you know, that Victoria, if they don't win that, they're going to be in a tough spot. You know, they're going to have that 3rd seed, and they're going to have to really battle to get wild card positioning, which also would mean opening the postseason with 2 games on the road. They'd have game 1 at home, but then games 2 and 3 would be on the road. So you really want to have home field advantage if you can in the playoffs, not just the first round, but the whole way.
Apple Sox fans know the early season roster is in flux. They have players on 10-day contracts until everybody comes in. Is the roster now set?
This is pretty much
the guys are supposed to be here or here?
Yeah, the guys who are here are the substantial members of the 2023 Wenatchee Apple Sox. Most of our 10-day players got out of town probably right before we left for Springfield about 2 weeks ago. This is the team. These are the guys who we're going to try and win a West Coast League championship with, and who I think I have faith that we can get that done with, whether we win the first half or not. This is such a solid group, top to bottom, Dan. I mean, we look back at last year, and that team could hit like no other I'd seen. This year, they hit and they pitch. We haven't had a good team on the mound in a few years, and it feels like every single night there's a chance that this team can win because of its starting pitching.
And a couple of the full-timers who are now here for the rest of the season, we hope, have shown their ball players.
Oh, no doubt about that. I would start with Easton Amundsen. He was signed to a 10-day contract back in the fall. Probably pretty apparent in mid-March he was going to be here all summer.
Well, he's hit 6 home runs.
Yeah.
He's leading the league.
Well, I mean, even in the college season, we figured there's no way we're letting this guy go. He had 10 home runs all spring, 6 already this summer. He's been incredible. Just made his college commitment recently, switching from Lower Columbia to Liberty University, so super exciting for him. He entered Tuesday on a 15-game hitting streak. I mean, this guy just absolutely breaks down. And
second in the league in RBIs, and a left-hander left-handed pull hitter.
Oh, yeah.
That's gold.
You can't have enough of those here at Paul Thomas. You know how the wind goes out to right field once the sun goes down, and it's so nice every night when head coach Mitch Darlington doesn't have to worry about who's batting third. Last year, we knew the leadoff hitter was going to be every night. This year, you know who's batting third every game.
So he's the offensive standout, but we got some good arms, too.
Oh, no doubt about that. I think every guy has gotten better with each outing. Toby Harr has been an unheralded arm on the mound. He gives you about 5 or 6 every single time out. Ryan Martinez gets better every time he goes, and he's been our Saturday guy. Now, he didn't pitch this past Saturday because it was a non-league game. We did pitch him relief. He didn't start, but my gosh, before that, he had a 7-inning shutout performance. Didn't allow any runs. Somehow gets a no decision. But, I mean, the pitching staff just gives us a chance every night. You know what you're getting with Quincy Vassar, what Garrett Gores brings as well. Hunter Gibson is going to make his second start, I think, here tonight as well. And he was so good back on Father's Day with 6 shutout. It's amazing watching these guys continue to pick up right where the previous starter left off and sometimes even outdo them.
When we talked to the pitching coach a couple of weeks ago, I asked him, what are you looking for? And he just said one word. He said competitors, guys who hate to lose and want to win. And when they have a bad outing, they show it. And you see that in this staff. If they if they throw a stupid pitch that gets knocked into a double, they get mad, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, they do, and they're competitive guys. They want to win here, and you don't always see that on some of these summer ball teams. Sometimes teams will come in here, and you don't see they're as focused on trying to win right now or trying to compete right now. But, you know, our guys have done such a good job here this season, and it's been just so fun to watch what they've been able to do.
If you get a chance to come to Paul Thomas Senior Field and you buy a seat in the lower bowl, by the way, it's a great deal. Might want to add that in.
Yes.
You might want to sit down the first base line so you can see to the Apple Sox dugout. And if you observe the Apple Sox during the course of a game, these guys aren't dinking around. They're not giving each other hot foots. They're not spitting sunflower seeds at each other. They're watching the game.
They kind of embody their head coach. And, you know, I was talking about that to someone recently. Mitch Darlington wears his emotions on his sleeves. You know, when there's a tough spot in a game, runners are first and second, Sox are in the field, and they're only up by 1. He's pacing in the dugout. He can't sit still. And all you have to do is take a peek over there. And boy, if that's not the kind of guy you want leading your team, I don't know who you'd choose, because he wants to win and plays to win. Most important, not just wants to, he plays to win every single night of the season. And it doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday night in front of 300 fans on the road or packed house here, what we're going to have next week on Fireworks Night on Monday. Mitch is trying to win every single game for everyone who's there to cheer him on.
Are you a little leery of looks aheadsy? Because, yeah, we have Port Angeles. They're not playing particularly well. They don't have a great record, but they could certainly come in and knock a couple off of us. But then we got the big road trip.
Oh, no.
I mean, are you a little concerned that the guys might thinking about, hey, the team that we're chasing, we're going to go up and see them this weekend?
Absolutely. It's definitely an entire possibility here, Dan. I think it's easy to look at the schedule and say, wow, these final 8 games remaining before the end of the first half, these are winnable. We should easily be able to sweep our way through. That's not how it works. There's 6 games in there on the road, not to mention some crazy travel, Dan. After wrapping up this series tomorrow, we hit the road early Friday to bus up to, I believe it's going to be Kelowna, fly out of there to Edmonton, play in Edmonton, and then play a game on Sunday afternoon and fly back that day with all that travel in there as well. Play again here Monday night, right back on the road to Port Angeles. It's a professional schedule. This is what the pros do, and these guys are getting tested. So it doesn't matter whether we're playing the Port Angeles Lefties or the Corvallis Knights next week. That's going to be a challenge with the fatigue of this team. So I'm really interested to see how they manage resting guys. Maybe some guys that Sunday in Edmonton get a day off with the travel day coming so they can be ready to go again on Tuesday night when we face Port Angeles. It all depends. One of the big things this coaching staff has preached is let's win the first game of the series. 1 game at a time. We win game 1. It puts us in the driver's seat to take this series. Not saying you let up at all the next 2 days, but maybe you can spell someone like a Kuntz or an Amundsen the next day and not feel like you're losing a lot in terms of the series. So they're so driven on winning those first games of the series to set the tone, and I think so far this season has proved pretty well.
I've been to a lot of Apple Sox games over the years, and we would be remiss if we didn't remind you on Monday night for the big for the big fireworks show here on Monday the 3rd. You got to be here early because this place will be packed. Yeah. So you just stress. I mean, I'm gilding the obvious lily, but Joe will back me up on that.
No doubt about it. Get your tickets online now at applesox.com. Buy them in advance. You'll have them. You can show up to the gate. You don't have to wait in line to get the tickets. You can go get scanned and get to your seats. The concession lines fill up early, so we always say arrive early. It's a 7:05 p.m. first pitch on Monday, July 3rd, and our gates will open up at 6 o'clock for that game. I'd recommend getting here a little bit before that. Be ready, be one of the first people in, and that way you can kind of enjoy what you want. You don't have to wait in a line for a beer or a hot dog in the third inning. You can get it maybe 20 minutes before the game begins. So not that we don't want people to be hungry midway through the game as well, but just to make your life a little bit easier as well. It's such a, and if you're looking for a bleacher seat spot, get it early, because obviously I think everyone knows general admission is first come, first serve as well.
So Port Angeles, game 1 was last night, game 2 tonight, game 3 Thursday. Then it's on the road back here against the Dub C Fish Sticks. Needless to say, it's a non-league game on Friday, and then it's the playoff push. Let's go ahead and clinch our division in the first half and let the guys get ready for the second half without having to worry about clinching the playoff spot.
It would be so nice. It would make the coaching staff's job a lot easier, give some more of these guys a chance to rest up for the postseason, and we're driven by that desire to win again. 6 years in a row for Corvallis. It took them that to pass the Apple Sox at all-time West Coast League championships. It's time for us to punch back and get another one for ourselves.
Making his very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's nice meeting you. It's Joel Norman, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Apple Sox, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set. These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee provides financial services for independent-minded clients working to secure their futures. Whether it's helping construct your personal financial, retirement, or estate plan, they start with a disciplined approach and straightforward advice. An individualized approach is rooted in the values, stability, and strength their company was founded on in 1935. With offices coast to coast and personal attention you deserve right here in the Wenatchee Valley, learn more about D.A. Davidson.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere, so when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
66 degrees here in the big city. Yesterday at this time, we had some clouds that didn't really go away. And then, of course, we had that rather dramatic weather from about 6 to 8 yesterday. But before we get to those details, as we always check the weather one last time before we send you on your way, one more quick trip around the valley with our cameras around the valley. That is our lower cross camera, not the main camera that we use at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. That's the other camera that's a little more east and a little lower because we're using the Wenatchee Heights camera to look at something else, and that's the burn scar from what's being called the Methow Street fire. And if you're just joining us, to our knowledge anyway, no injuries, no structures reported. The fire, as you can see, no activity anymore. All the evacuation levels have been eliminated. Really don't know how big it ended up being. They say anywhere between 50 and 150 acres. I'm sure they'll do some mapping today. You certainly saw the fire resources that came in, both on the ground and with the airplanes. They had 4 airplanes and about 3 or 4 helicopters helping put that fire out. That's another view from the burn scar. You can see it right about in the middle of your screen. That's from our jump-off ridge camera. And it's not even July yet. We've had a couple of wildfires, including one that's just a little too close to town for me. One more view of the burn scar, by the way. There you go. That's I think that's from the roof of our building. I'm not sure. You can see how close it came to. That's the Oma Gardens camera, actually. That's pointing a long way, but that's a very good view of the burn scar there, right up near the Rooster Comb area. Of course, they had a fire in that very same area in August of 2021 that was much more threatening to homes and property as opposed to yesterday's fire. Hopefully, we won't be doing that again today. It makes for a long day in the newsroom. This is going to be, the slide you're going to see is going to be somewhat similar to what you saw yesterday, but there's actually less chance of us seeing a shower or a thunderstorm today. The probability has gone down quite a bit for all of our viewing locations. It's still a chance. The potential is still there for late in the afternoon, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I said that yesterday, and it did, so I'm going to go with the pros of the National Weather Service because they know what they're doing, and I don't when it comes to forecasting the weather. But anyway, there's the probability of showers or thunderstorms for a viewing area today. Not quite as high as it was yesterday at this time. From the National Weather Service, get used to the 90s because they're going to be sticking around for quite some time. It's going to be dry and hot. It really arrives tomorrow. High pressure is going to be building not only over the Wenatchee Valley in the state of Washington, but over the entire western United States. This is a huge dome of high pressure. And you know what happens? It amplifies the heat. It makes the overnight lows very mild, 91 to 95, 94, 92, 93, 94, 98 on Tuesday, which also happens to be Independence Day. So as we say goodbye to June and say hello to July, as we head into the weekend, it's going to be July-type weather. All right, that's it for us. Have a good and safe Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.